What's poppin', y'all? This is your go-to guy for the hour, your DJ, Brian Jew, and you're listening to What's Poppin' on TBS efm 101.3. Now, yesterday was a special day for us here at What's Poppin'. It was our 50th episode, so time flies pretty fast. So excited that everyone has been listening to us for so long. And today is episode 51. It's not a milestone, but still, it's the first day of the next 50 episodes, and it proves that time is going by fast, and that's pretty cray-cray. That's insane. Insane in the Brain. And that's going to be the first song of the day by Cypress Hill, Insane in the Brain. But remember, our word of the day is related to this song, so see if you can figure it out. Check it out. This is Cypress Hill with Insane in the Brain. That was Cypress Hill with Insane in the Brain. And you guys are listening to What's Poppin' on TBS EFM, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to What's Poppin' on TBS EFM, 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas, and GFN 98.7 in Gwangju and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, how do you get in contact with us? It's pretty simple. You can send us a text at sharper pound 1013 for a charge of 51, or send us a tweet at EFM Poppin, or send us an email at efmpoppin@gmail.com. Also, you can send us a Kakao Talk message if you've added TBS as a plus friend. It's pretty simple. Also, remember that you can join us here at Open Studio Days, which is every Wednesdays at 11 a.m., and that's going to be broadcasted every Friday. So if you want to be a part of our show, please email us at efmpoppin@gmail.com with your name and telephone number, and Eugene will get in contact with you as soon as possible. Also, we have another announcement. The EFM's 5th Mini World Cup and amateur soccer competition for foreigners will take place on Sunday, June 2nd at the Seoul Human Resource Development Center. Now this year, Nigeria, South Africa, Germany, the U.S., Brazil, Indonesia, Japan, and China represent the 8 countries that will be competing for the championship title. So you guys can come and enjoy the games from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this year's Mini World Cup is sponsored by Korea Exchange Bank, which provides outstanding banking services to expats in Korea, and Anglo Info Seoul, a global expat website with everything you need to know about living in Seoul. So you guys come out, check it out. June 2nd, it's going to be a fun day, especially if you love soccer. So if you can make it, please do. All right, now to get up into the word of the day. So today's word of the day is related to the first song. And it's not related to the insane, of course. Insane means crazy, and we already had that word of the day before. So no, today's word is not another word for brain. What else can you think of when you call or what else do you call the brain? Think carefully. Your mind. Yes. So the word of the day is mind. So what are you thinking? What emotions are you feeling, and what and all that is related to your mind? So our next song comes from a great African-American girl group from the 1990s. They're not girls anymore. They're probably elder women. But here's En Vogue with Free Your Mind. That was En Vogue with Free Your Mind. Now, coming up on today's show, it's Tuesday, so that means Michael Jones. Michael Jones will join us in the second half for our Poppin' Review. And Mike's going to review an album from hopefully back in the day, or from yesterday. We never know. It's up to Mike. It's up to his own decisions. But if you want to find out what Mike's going to be talking about, you guys have to stick around for our second half of our show. Now we're going to play another song for you guys. So as you guys know, we've been playing a lot of old school songs for you guys this week, starting on Monday, of course. And I guess today we're going to play something not too old school, but not new. I would say the song came out, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I'm not sure. Approximately 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, that's what Eugene said. I'm not too sure. But this song is one of the great songs about a great city in the world. And the city everyone wants to be in, you know. The city with Broadway, the city with lights, the city with great food, and the metro system. And of course, I'm talking about New York City. So if we've got a song about New York, who do you think is going to sing it? Not Frank Sinatra, not Marilyn Manson, not Brian Jew, not Mike Jones, or nor will it be Eugene Huang. We're talking about Mr. Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys. Check it out. This is Empire State of Mind. That was Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys. Now, our last song of the first half of our show, it comes from a band called the Zac Brown Band. Yes, and this band is a folk music and rock band from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Georgia is a beautiful state that I feel like, a lot of people don't really appreciate, A lot of people don't fantasize about Georgia and going out there for vacation. Most people want to go to the Bahamas, Thailand, the Philippines, somewhere tropical, somewhere nice and beautiful beaches and stuff like that. But I don't blame you. I love going to the beach as well because I don't live near the beach. Well, I did growing up, but not here in South Korea. But yeah. So don't just think about just the beaches and the beautiful weather places and stuff like that. Georgia is a beautiful place. I physically haven't been there, but I've seen pictures because a lot of my friends are from Georgia and they actually recommended that I check it out. And my parents were thinking about moving to Georgia. So hopefully one day I'll have a chance to check it out. So anyways, if you get a chance, maybe you guys, all you listeners out there, I know we have a few listeners from Georgia, can go out and check out Georgia and even hang out with our Georgian listeners. Yes, in Hotlanta, Georgia. All right, so we got the band set up for you guys right now. This is the Zach Brown Band with Keep Me in Mind. And I'll be back with the second half of our show and Mike Jones for Poppin' Review. You guys are listening to TBS efm's What's Poppin', and our second half is brought to you by many, many, many sponsors, so we'll check it out and we'll be right back. Welcome back to What's Poppin', and now it's time for Paparazzi. So when you're in the entertainment business, your agent and the agency you hire to represent you can be one of the most important decisions that you make in your career. And it seems like Coyote at one time made the wrong choice because their former agency put them into debt. Now, how is that possible? Well, Shinji from Coyote explained this recently in a television appearance. Now, Shinji shared, our agency used our name Coyote to invest in another business, but ended up bankrupt. Now, Kim Jong-min and I were forced to repay the debt and leave so we could take a bank loan and left the agency. Our agency at the time took care of our finances and registered seal, so we used to promote without knowing our exact earnings from our events. Well, it sounds like that has really has bad situations like that happen in the entertainment business. And if my agency would do that to me, I would cut them. That's what would happen. I'd be very angry, but guess what? My agency is me now because I'm not with nobody. But if I was, and that happened to me, I'd be very angry, and I would just put them, and I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably go cray-cray. Anyways, one thing you guys have to remember, though, it's going to suck in the business because you have to learn to trust the people that you work with, especially the people who are in charge of your finances. And this can become a little confusing sometimes, but you know what? You're going to have to hire people that you know you can trust. That's a very, very important fact. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working with people only that I trust and I get along with. So since we were talking about Coyote today, I'm going to play a Coyote track for you guys, especially for all you K-pop fans out there who don't know any groups from before the 2000s. They actually came out in 98, 99, I believe. I'm not sure. They came out before I came out, so check it out. This is Coyote with Paran. Welcome back to What's Poppin', and now it's time for Poppin' Review.
With Mike Jones.
And Brian Ju.
Ooh. Brian.
Yes.
I've had you on my mind all day.
Why?
I just had to think of something to start off my end of the show with today's word, mind.
Oh, I get it.
Pretty witty of me, yes? Huh?
Pretty wise.
Oh, yes.
Confucius said.
Yes.
I don't know what he said, but go ahead.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
How you doing, man?
All
I
right.
actually, like I said yesterday, the weekend was horrible for me.
You were sick.
I was very sick. I don't know why I was sick. I think I had a stomach virus, and then on top of that, 2 or 3 hours later, my body started breaking out in high heat, and temperature was funky. And I even put a cold rag on my forehead to calm myself down and cool it down. And I did fall asleep, but I was waking up every 10 to 15 minutes.
That stinks.
Standing in front of, and literally it did stink in my house, but standing in front of my toilet, and it wasn't a sight for anybody to see.
No. So you paint that picture with the words that you're speaking right now.
Yes, I am. That's what I do.
Hey, now your show is finished.
Yes, it is.
When did it finish? What was the last show?
My last show was May 26th.
Okay, so here's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think when you finish a big creative project like that, you're your whole system just kind of goes through this grieving depression sort of process. It's the end of something, and perhaps their sickness is somehow related to that. That's my Confucius wisdom for the day.
Well, one of my fans and friends told me maybe that as well, but also because I've been doing so many things at once this month.
Yep.
My body's just trying to get all the funkiness out of my system. So hopefully this week it'll get back to normal.
Take good care of yourself, Brad.
Yeah, I really need to because I have the cross regionals this weekend.
There you go.
I have to work out 300 8,000 workouts.
Yeah,
Yes.
You hear that pity in his voice. The truth is he has a choice and he chooses to do this.
Of course.
Craziness.
Hey, how many chances do you get in life to become an athlete? I have the word
super
athlete in front of my
athlete.
name.
You guys
Next
are like
athlete is
super
Brian
athletes.
Jew. See?
Nice. Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. Well, we're not talking about athletes today, Brian.
Or Brian Jew.
No, we're talking about heavy smokers, actually.
Really?
Yeah, actually, I was digging through like kind of the history of Michael's music and the music that has like kind of influenced me in my life. And
Michael Jackson, right?
I was never a big Michael Jackson fan. No, but I
He's great.
digging through some like old stuff, and I actually got really down to like the basics. The first cassette, one of the first cassette albums that I ever purchased, and I actually came up with a really really interesting album. One of the most influential albums that really most influential albums in my life.
All right.
Turned me on to rock and roll music, made me fall absolutely in love with rock and roll music, and so I want to share that with everybody today.
Is it JCM?
It's not. No, I'm not. Yeah, no, it's old.
JCM is initials. I was just looking at the paper.
JCM.
Oh.
Look at you smarty pants.
Yes.
It is JCM. It's a young. Actually, he's old now. He's 61 years
He
old.
was young when he first came
John
out.
Cougar Mellencamp. Now,
Yes.
chances are everybody listening, or most everybody listening, is like, who? John Cougar Mellencamp is kind of a. We listened earlier to kind of the folksy country rock singer of Zac Brown Band. Mm-hmm. He's kind of basically
That kind of
similar
vibe.
sort of vibe. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like from Indiana somewhere. He's Midwest kind of. He's definitely not country music. He's definitely rock and roll, but he's got an interesting sound. And the album we're talking about today is Scarecrow, which
Scarecrow
came out. I'm a little bit nervous to tell anybody the year that it came out because
I think this album had one of the songs that I like on it.
probably
Yeah.
it had at least 4 songs that came out that were actually really really popular. And yeah. Scarecrow. It's a great album. Now, if you don't know who John Cougar Mellencamp is, a couple songs that he made famous in the 80s and stuff, there was Jack and Diane. Do you remember that song?
No, is that the right one? I can't think of
don't know.
I can't think of the lyrics right now off the top of my head.
Jack and Diane,
Yeah.
doing the best that they can, something like that, right? And he did.
Jack and his well, and he actually spoke more than he sang in that song.
Right.
It's like he was telling a story. Yeah, I know that song.
Exactly.
That's the song I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
That didn't actually come from this album. This album had a couple of other songs, including one of his famous ones was R.O.C.K. in the USA. Yeah. So it was like cool. It was right around the beginning of MTV. I don't remember the exact date that MTV came out and started, but basically he was one
around
of the first.
that time.
Right. One of the first music video kind of popular guys that came out of that new medium, and yeah, it was really great. This album was awesome. One of the best parts about the album is the drummer. His name's Kenny Aronoff, and Kenny Aronoff was actually part of John Cougar Mellencamp's band for I think like 17 years, and I had started when I was in 6th grade. I had been turned on to the drums. I really liked playing the drums, and I was not very good. And when I first heard this band, I was like, and this drummer and the talent that he has, I was absolutely inspired to learn to play the drums. The guy's amazing rock and roll drummer, and he's actually one of the best known studio drummers that he's still playing today. Like the guy's,
Maybe I'll hire
his
him, but
60s.
if he's that well known, he's going to charge a lot as well.
He will charge a lot. Yeah, I guess.
Yes, so maybe I won't hire
I
him.
couldn't find that information. Actually, I was looking for information about John Cougar Mellencamp, and the only thing I could really find is that he smokes a lot. And it just kind of how when you get on the internet and you start like kind of diverging into a new path, and
And all of a sudden you find the random stuff.
right. And so
Yeah.
I ended up doing more study about the drummer Kenny Aronoff than I did John Cougar Mellencamp.
But still, they're connected, so that's all that matters.
There you go.
Alrighty, well, since you were talking about ROCK in the USA, we got that song set up for you guys
Awesome.
right now. Check it out. This is John Cougar Mellencamp with ROCK in the USA. Yeah, that was John Cougar Mellencamp with ROCK in the USA. And Mike is
man.
goofy right now. I said googly. He's googly laughing.
I've got a dirty joke.
Yes, you
I
do.
do. I'm not going to tell it here.
We'll go over that joke in
It's
a little
not dirty
bit.
in the sense that it's like like totally rude, but it's definitely.
It's just where the mind kind of flows out of.
Some
yes.
days just random thoughts come into my head. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway,
That was a fun song.
That's a fun song, a lot of fun. What I really like about it is he kind of the story that he tells. It basically goes through the history of rock and roll music before 1985, and talking about Basically, we need to remember the old rockers. We need to remember the groups like the Beatles. We need to remember, people he mentions, Frankie Lyman. We need to remember these guys because they're the ones who basically created what we have today, in the modern radio. They basically created Brian Jew in many ways.
They did.
They did.
Yes. I call them dad.
They are your mommy and daddy, baby.
I call them Oma and Appa.
There you go.
That's what I call them.
Nice. John Cougar Mellencamp, he produced,
Yes.
we're talking about Scarecrow, and he produced over 19 albums.
Holy moly.
Yes. But I got to admit that this was the last one I actually really liked. This was his
But you have all his
seventh-
old stuff, too,
I do
right?
have a bunch of his old stuff.
So wait, when did he first debut as an artist?
1979.
1979.
Yeah, and
And what's he doing these days,
these days he's still touring, still playing. He was inducted by Billy Joel, inducted him into the
How old
Hall
is
of
he?
Fame. He's 61. John Cougar
He's still
Mellencamp.
performing at the age of 61?
Yeah, man.
My
Yep.
dad's 61 and all he does is play video games.
Yeah, but this is like John Cougar Mellencamp. He's up there with Tom Petty. Last week we talked about Tom Petty. Tom
Yes.
Petty's in his 60s and he's still playing. The Rolling Stones, I think they're coming close to the 70s. And as far as I know, they're still willing to play and get on stage, which is pretty amazing. Journey.
Well, you just gave me hope.
There you go.
When I'm 61, I'll be doing CrossFit.
I'll be singing and doing CrossFit.
Exactly.
Right. In
Wow.
my head. Right. So.
I see you all over me.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I'm dying.
Could you imagine singing those kind of songs at that age? Kids that are like 20 at that time would be like, who's this old dude talking about clubs and drinking and Patron?
Man,
I'm like,
you will always have fans, though. That's the thing. You've set down this permanent record.
yeah,
that
but
will
I mean,
always-
at that age, I can't sing about clubbing.
Of course you can.
I can't.
The old man club in.
61-year-old dude going, baby, are you down, 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 down? That's weird. A 61-year-old.
Okay, but you're thinking about that in today's terms. When
Yeah.
you are actually
I would
61,
have to-
how weird will that be? Because everybody who's a fan will be 61 when that happens.
is
And
true,
they'll be
so
like, dude,
I'd
I
have to-
totally get you.
I'd have to change the lyrics from baby, are you, more like, grandma, are you down, down?
Just gonna say. Grandma, shake your booty.
Exactly.
Right on.
And they have no choice at that age. It just shakes anyway. Anyways.
There's a slight difference between a shake and a...
And a
Jiggle.
Jiggle.
Right.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers. Remember those?
Jigglers?
Like little
juicy-
pudding. I
Oh,
think.
man, jigglers.
Yes, they're good.
Oh, my goodness. You're
Yes.
bringing back the memories. This whole
Well,
John
I mean,
Cougar
you brought
Mellencamp
John
thing.
John
That's right.
Cougar Mellencamp.
That's
so.
right. We're going to listen to another song, though, aren't we?
We're going to.
We're going
but what song did you want to hear this time?
Well, I do believe that we've got, Lonely Old Night up and ready to go?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Check it out there, y'all. This is John Cougar Mellencamp with Lonely Old Night. That was Lonely Old Night by John Cougar Mellencamp.
Who is it that you're thinking of?
I'm thinking, there's a singer. I think Eugene will probably know this guy. But I forget the song he sang, but he always sang like that. He goes, hey, how you doing? Like this
Freddie-
old school song.
Yeah, man. That's I totally know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot his name, though. Oh, it's annoying.
Oh, anyway.
He was an African-American
Yep,
artist from the
yep.
States. No, not
I
from the
love
States.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's singing like that with a little mustache
Yep.
and everything. But, I mean,
Anyway.
we know what we're talking about.
We know
don't
what
need
we're
to-
talking
We
about.
don't need to
Yeah.
know the name.
And you out there listening, you can just figure it out for yourself.
You guys find out.
Yeah.
You guys will know.
They probably already know.
They're like, it's blah, blah, blah. They're probably tweeting it right now. But I can't check my Twitter right now.
Dang it.
Anyways, right now we're not talking about the singer that we can't think of off
Nope.
the top of our head. We're talking about John
John
Cougar
Cougar Mellencamp
Mellencamp.
and his album, his 1985 album Scarecrow. This is a really, really successful album. If you want to go back, if you want to go check out old music, this is what I named this one is this is a great album for falling back in love with real rock and roll music.
Didn't you do that one before?
Nope.
Falling Back in Love?
No.
Oh, with rock and roll music.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
is it?
Falling back in love with
Rock and roll music.
Yeah. That was me on the clap.
Yeah, I was wondering what the clap was for.
That was a little bit strange, wasn't it?
It was a little odd.
Sometimes you look at me a little strange when I do strange things. This goes back to the
I'm
old
not gonna
show
look
we
at-
used to do when I did the smooch-o-meter, man. You would look at me just like, please don't
I'm
ever
used
do
to the
that again.
smoochie meter. I got kissed by dudes on stage all week for a musical.
Wow,
So,
that's interesting.
on the cheek.
Well, that's
But
just to clarify.
just the cheek,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the mouth.
yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier to Mike, when I first heard this guy's name, John Cougar Mellencamp,
Yeah.
I really thought his name was John Cougar. That's it, John Cougar's Mellencamp. So I thought it was a guy who had like a farm of melons.
Right, that was
a camp.
a camp farm of melons.
But he also sang on the side.
Right.
But to clarify things, his full name is John Cougar Mellencamp.
Right. When he
Now, this
started,
is-
he actually was he was only going by John Cougar.
Oh, and he added his last name?
Yep,
Alrighty.
Yep.
Well, that's enough. That's all the time we have today. So we have to wrap things up. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to What's Poppin'.
Absolutely.
With Mike on his Poppin' review with John Cougar, Mel, and Camp.
We're coming back next week with a little more modern stuff.
We'll do that. Mike's going to bring some more modern stuff for Poppin' review. But can you introduce the last song of the hour?
One of my favorite songs from the album. It's called Justice and Independence 85.
All right, this is Brian Ju and
Michael Jones.
Signing off.
Bye.
Peace.